Welcome back. Right now it's time for our monthly segment with Nexus IT, all about tech tips. And here with us today is Earl and Brianne. We have important things to discuss and we're going to get right to it. Thank you, both of you, for being here.
Hey, good morning.
Thanks for having us, Christine.
Before we get started though, Brianne, welcome to Park City Television. You're relatively new with Nexus. Tell me more about what you're doing there.
Yes, thank you so much. Again, thanks for having us here today. I'm really excited to be here, really excited to be a part of Nexus IT. Brianne Rochelle, new Director of Strategic Growth and Development. Very new to IT, so it's been a bit of a learning curve, but I've been really lucky to have such a great team who's very collaborative and welcoming to help me through that. So kind of what I'm going to be doing is focusing on our national expansion through partnerships, mergers, and acquisitions. Earl and the Nexus team have done an incredible job of growing Nexus over the last 24 years. Yep. Can I date you?
Yeah.
Over the last 24 years almost, and yeah, we're just looking at bigger opportunities and trying to build a really a better MSP the right way. So kind of just having a focus on that and really enjoying my time there so far.
Well, it's great meeting you.
Thank you
so much for being on the show.
Thanks.
And we have several topics that we want to get to. Up first, though, we've talked about this before. Cyber warfare is definitely something that is in the news, and there's actually currently a big thing that's happening. Tell me more about that, Earl.
Yeah, and this one's kind of close to home for me. My wife is Costa Rican. And as of Monday, the entire Costa Rican finance ministry is completely shut down due to a ransomware hack. They have released it as an organized group. They do believe it's probably Conti. It's a Russian-based, ransomware hacking group. At the moment, pretty much all functions, financial operations of the Costa Rican government are shut down. All international trade, tax and customs, payroll, education payroll. They are unable to process right now Social Security payments, pension payments out to retired Costa Ricans. As of yesterday, Costa Ricans started receiving really odd messages, scams, and spam in WhatsApp, most of them originating from Russian phone numbers and many of them in the Russian language. Some really kind of weird things going on. Four days ago, McDonald's Costa Rica announced that they were hacked, and that pretty much all of their customer data that they've stored for a long time has been compromised. So we're seeing this, really orchestrated nation-state attack, similar to what happened just prior to Russia invading the Ukraine. And the attacks that they launched against the Ukraine, we're seeing some very similar sort of patterns, play out in Costa Rica right now. It's a large-scale cyber attack. Certainly, I think physical invasion, between Russia and Costa Rica would be a far cry at the moment, logistically, but it's certainly very intriguing, scary, to see what's happening. And unfortunately, it's the evolving reality of what is part of our world now. Cyber warfare, not only on the corporate side, but on government and nation state side, is becoming a very real factor that we have to be aware of, we have to account for, and certainly our own governments have to be extremely careful about this kind of stuff.
It is very alarming, and when you hear about things happening right now in our world in this front, how does that affect what you do and how you work with clients and how you provide security? And I know it's very scary, but how does it change, or does it change what you do?
Oh, absolutely. What we call the cyber threat landscape, is evolving at such a rapid pace. That ourselves as cyber, professionals and cyber outsourcers, we have to stay on top of it. We have to be able to alert our clients to what's going on, what the real world, threats are. Unfortunately, we are one of those, sort of categories of business that oftentimes falls on deaf ears. And we don't talk about these things to be fear mongers. We don't talk about these things, to try to make people afraid. We talk about them to educate. It's one of the reasons we love to come on here with you, Christine, because All of this is very real stuff that is playing out in the world right now. And business leaders need to be aware of what's going on, and they need to be aware of what they have to do to secure their data and make sure that they don't fall prey to these types of things, or if they do, what they can do to recover in the quickest, most graceful manner. So yes, we have to stay on top of it. We have to be educating them and talking to them about it. Whether or not we're always listened to, that's a whole nother topic for a different day. But certainly the evolution of this helps our case with business leaders to decide that that it's time to take some action and do something serious about what's going on.
And it makes you really think about how important tech is in our daily lives and how an attack can shut down so many things. And speaking of technology and day-to-day lives here in Utah, in fact, the tech sector is really exploding, which makes this even more of a concern, but is also, on one hand, a good thing to see that our economy is doing well and it's robust. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, the whole entire economy, microeconomy of Utah and business in general is really thriving right now. Consistently we are landing in the top 3, if not number 1 in the nation in economic development and in performance and job satisfaction. We are leaders, and on the forefront of many categories right now, which is really encouraging and fun to see. Certainly the tech sector is driving a lot of that growth. We are, that whole sector accounts for nearly 10% of the entire Utah GDP at this point, right? And there's massive amounts of growth, and it's not just. Oftentimes you think about software and hardware and IT providers and cybersecurity and things like that, but the massive amount of like biotech and med tech and ag tech and all of these really interesting applications of technology, are really booming and thriving in Utah. It's an exciting time, and there's so many advantages to being part of that here, at the moment. It's bringing a mass exodus of people from not only around the country, but around the world that are coming to Utah to take part of what's happening right now.
And Brianne, are you seeing the effects of this growth, especially in what you do? I know you're relatively new, but as the Director of Strategic Development and Partnerships at Nexus IT, how is this affecting your job?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't have to travel too far to find those opportunities for growth across the nation or the globe, right? I mean, so many people are here personally. I live downtown Salt Lake, and my building, I don't think I've met anyone from Utah yet. So there's people who are setting up shop here that have headquarters in different states. So I think it is making my job a little bit easier without having to dig into Earl's pockets to send me across to different states, but that will be coming soon too. So it's been really great to be out networking and just see the Utah ecosystem thrive. It's been really great. I grew up here, and I did leave for a while, and when I came back I noticed the growth and decided to stay so I could be a part of it, and I couldn't picture a better place to do that. So.
Now, it's great news for our economy here in Utah, but what are some of the challenges with it being such a growing, expanding place, and especially being a tech company?
Yeah, definitely. And this is something that I don't envy our lawmakers at the moment. I don't envy, people in government positions dealing with, this amount of economic development and growth that's happened in recent years. The state growing by massive numbers, housing, especially affordable housing, becoming a very real problem. Of course, water is a real problem. This winter does not look like a good case for this summer, and how are we going to deal with water shortages and all that kind of stuff? Infrastructure, roadways are overwhelmed. There's just so many considerations, and then for us as employers, particularly on the tech side, salaries in Utah in the tech arena have doubled in the last 4 to 5 years. They've increased by 50+% in the last 2 over COVID. And so for us to remain competitive, particularly with the behemoths that are coming into town, is very, very challenging. And we have to also remain competitive in the marketplace. Our pricing towards our clients has to be competitive, but we also have to be competitive with our team members and make sure their compensation packages are adequate and we can land the best talent. And so it's a very interesting balancing act to be part of right now. it's not, I won't lie, it's not easy, right? We're continually trying to figure it out and rekey and find that right balance where it's all working out.
You know, and with this explosion of growth and also more security concerns, that's where Nexus IT comes in. That's where you can help your clients and where you can help future clients as well. So how can people get more information about everything that you do with Nexus IT and reach out to you all?
Yeah, easiest thing is to call us up, 435-487-9099, or hit us up on the web at nexusitc.net.
Thank you so much.
Also, we do have a WebCheck Cyber Summit tomorrow at Jordan Commons, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So there's a lot of information that's going to be shared there too.
Oh, that's great to know.
By
Who
local
is that
leaders.
ideally for?
Gosh, honestly, anyone who wants to know more information about cybersecurity, I think it's really important for everyone to know. So I think anyone personally up to a corporate level would really benefit from this summit. But more specifically, business leaders.
Well, we so appreciate both of you for being here today. Important information, and very thankful to Nexus IT for everything you're doing in the tech space here in our great state. So thanks for being here.
Thanks so much
Thank
for
you,
having us.
Christine.